Greetings, everyone. This is Payment Loans, your host, your friend, your coach. Today, we're kicking off the May class for the live 5-day profit podcast launch challenge. This is for the UK, Europe, and Asia call. And we have an international crowd of my dear friend Christine from the UK, dear friend Mark from New Zealand, and new friend Andrea from the Philippines. It's always more fun in the Philippines. And I'm here currently based in Vietnam. So let's get going without any further ado. Let me start sharing my screen. And as more people join in, I will add them. All right. Do you guys see my screen? Okay. So this challenge is going to be the entire week, same time. Let's see. So this is the premise of what you will get by attending throughout this week. You will have an actionable blueprint to launch your, not just a podcast, but keyword being profitable podcast and or YouTube channel. I just want to clarify one thing. When I say podcast, I mean both podcast and YouTube channel, but for simplicity's sake, I will say podcast. Just want to clarify that. So it's both. And I'm going to show you how you can get leads on demand and clients organically, even if you have no audience to start with. And I will show you how I crack the code on YouTube and podcasting. And this is what I'm going to be sharing with you guys. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys the exact same approach that got me 6 clients in the first weekend and then 60 clients in the next 10 months. All of that with a YouTube channel of less than 200 subscribers. How is that possible? This is what I'm going to be explaining to you guys and sharing with you guys, not just today, but throughout the week. And now my channel is a bit bigger, 1,486 subscribers, just shy of 1,500, which is still absolutely tiny, but that hasn't stopped me from getting over 100 iTicket clients in the last 18 months. So again, when podcasting and YouTube done the right way, they can take both you and your business to the next level. Are you guys excited? All right, let's go.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, so here's an overview of what's going to be on the menu for this week, day by day. So today, first, we're going to do a quick meet and greet. Everybody's going to get 30 seconds to introduce themselves. And then my story and how podcasting not only changed, transformed, but literally also saved my life in some ways. And then gonna jump into why podcasting is so powerful for both you as a person and also your business. And then we're gonna also explore what do you want to achieve through your profitable podcast YouTube channel. So we're gonna be brainstorming together. Tomorrow, day 2, and one thing you will notice is that everything is going to be building upon the previous day, like building a house. So I recommend you attend every day because every day builds upon the previous day. So tomorrow we're going to be brainstorming about your podcast, your YouTube channel, and everything is going to be based upon one core principle of everything I do, and that is, what is your zone of genius? What is your core expertise? And I'm going to be diving very deep into that from tomorrow onwards. And finally, once we've done that, then we're going to look into what is your ideal listener and client. So as you will see, everything builds from the previous day. First, what is your podcast going to be about? What is your zone of genius? What is a pain point you can solve and for who? So everything builds, it goes streamlined very nicely. Day 3, we're going to take the foundings of day 2, your zone of genius. And then we're going to be looking at what is the number one pain point that you, your podcast, YouTube channel, and your business and your offer will address, and for who? We're going to be looking at one very specific person with one very specific pain point. And then once we have all of that, the next logical step is going to be to determine this is one of the most game-changing principles of business that once I implemented this into my business, that's when my business really started to take traction. And that is having a quantifiable, measurable end result. I'm going to explain that to you in details tomorrow, but that is an absolutely non-negotiable and you're offering your business if you want to be profitable and successful. And I'm going to be dedicating an entire day on Wednesday, day 3, just on that alone. And by the end of Wednesday, we will have crafted your irresistible offer. Day 4, we're going to take all of the previous findings, and then we're going to be basically launching your profitable podcast in 3 easy steps. And we're going to be creating your podcast, the foundation, the asset, the tech essential, and all that. For example, we're going to be looking at the best way to format your podcast, naming your podcast the right way, creating a YouTube channel, creating your podcast cover art, thumbnail. We're going to get creative and get our hands dirty, so to speak. And then we're going to jump into the tech side. What type of microphone, accessories, software, and all that good stuff we need. And then we're going to also be taking a look at recording and editing your shows. And then I'm going to share with you my proven blueprint to launch a podcast in 3 easy steps. So that's going to be on day 4. We're going to be literally launching a podcast live. Is that exciting or exciting? All right.
Very exciting.
Good. And then on day 5, we're going to put it all together and we're going to be talking about this money, because we don't want just to be launching a podcast. We want to actually make money, meaning getting clients to our podcast and YouTube channel. So we're going to be sharing with you how to monetize your podcast and YouTube channel the right way so that you can get leads on demand and clients organically, even if you have no audience, absolutely no audience. That's going to be a game changer. And then so that we can also turn your podcast and YouTube channel into an unstoppable machine. And that's going to open up so many doors, opportunities for you, just like it done for me. And we're sharing that for you guys in a moment. So how does that sound so far?
Goodbye.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
Good. Okay. So who's messaging me? Does someone want to join? Okay, let's go. So now my story and now podcasting has transformed my life and in ways I can't even imagine. But before I start, I want to set the record straight. Everything I have today, I owe it first to God, my family, and my podcast. Without the podcast, I wouldn't be here. Seriously. And I will share that with you guys in a moment. Thank you, Andrea. So 6 years ago in 2019, 2020, I was in a very dark spot. I was living in Hong Kong and China, trying to build a business. It didn't work out. I literally ran out of money. If it wasn't for a friend of mine that allowed me to stay at one of his places, he's built a multi-million-dollar Airbnb business. So he allowed me to stay at one of his apartments for 13 months, 1 year and 1 month for free. That's something not even family would do for you. 13 months allowed me to stay at this place for free. If it wasn't for him, I would have been on the streets. I was living on $20 a week. I don't know if you guys been to Hong Kong, but Hong Kong is not cheap, or even a basic meal is $15. So, but here I was. It was a very dark spot. And also I was depressed because I used to be fat. Because of all of that, I had not even zero, but negative self-esteem because no air, big nose, fat, depressed, nothing working, beyond broke. It got so bad that my credit cards got canceled, my credit destroyed. I had to ask my sister to book me a ticket so I can return back to Canada at the start of the pandemic. I will never forget that day, Tuesday, the 27th of February of 2020, landing in Toronto with only $200 to my name. It was not a good place to be, but I never gave up. And I was lost, depressed. Quite a lot of days, I didn't even want to get out of bed. At night, quite a lot of nights, I would cry myself to sleep. And at some point, I was even considering, hey, if this is life, I don't want to keep playing this game. I was seriously considering checking out because it was almost as if, you remember those cartoons where you have a character that there's a black cloud over their head following them everywhere? That was me. No matter what I was trying, it wasn't working. At least it was not working for me. It was working for other people. It made me question myself. What am I missing? What is wrong with me? Can you guys relate with that? When you went to a phase, dark phase, where no matter what you tried, it wasn't working for you. Can you guys relate with that? Awesome.
For sure. For sure.
So again, this is why I was literally considering checking out. Outside of Toronto, I live in Canada. My family lives in Canada, and in the countryside, there's a major highway, and the other side there's a train track. Quite a lot of days I would just go there, sit, and wonder which would be the easiest, fastest, and less painful way for me to literally check out. And what saved my life was the podcast. Because when I started my podcast, I got on calls with people that had overcame a billion times more painful challenges than me. People that lost it all and been to jail, people that lost it all and survived terminal diseases, people that overcame life-altering accidents, becoming paraplegic, and all of these men and women told me the same thing. Just because you're going through some temporary financial challenges, it's not a reason for you to check out or give up. You're young, you can still get on your feet. And by the grace of the Lord, I was able to, if I'm still here today, again, I owe a big chunk to these people, to these men and women that kept me going. So this is why the podcast saved my life. And over the next year or so after that, it blessed me with, got me back on my feet financially and all that. So I'm going to explain that in a moment. Because of the podcast, I completely turned my life around. I've built a very successful podcast, fast approaching 400 episodes. I just released earlier today, episode 390, Thriving International Academy. I've become a 4-time, soon to be 5-time #1 international best-selling author. I did a TED Talk last year here in Vietnam. Again, all as a result of my podcast. I was invited to be a speaker at a conference here in Vietnam in March for digital nomads. And I'm also invited in September for another big conference in the Philippines, in Siargao, Nomads in Paradise. The gentleman that runs it, Professor Jan Richter from Germany, after listening to my talk, he was also one of the speakers at the conference in Da Nang in March. He invited me to be a speaker at this conference in September in Siargao. So again, all of these, as a result of my podcast, first, I'm tremendously grateful, plus making incredible friends around the world. Like, for example, Christine, Mark, you guys have been wonderful friends of mine for the past year or so, all because of the podcast and so on and so forth. But you know what is the greatest gift podcasting blessed me with beyond the financials? And I'm incredibly, deeply, eternally grateful for the financial blessings. But for me, the greatest gift it blessed me with was that of killing my shyness. I used to be incredibly, painfully shy. And as a result of that, I was able to, after killing my shyness, I've been able to find my purpose, my voice, and ultimately identifying my gifts. So these are things that are absolutely priceless. And all of this because of the podcast. So I will share with you guys in the slides the link to my TED Talk. Feel free to watch it if you want later. But now, enough about me. Let's talk about you. Any questions so far about my journey, my path?
Just enjoy your struggle that you've come through, Payman.
Yes.
And it's so real, mate. You know, everyone has their struggle, and thank you for sharing it.
You're welcome. And as you guys will see me here say that a lot of time in the course of the next few days, one of my favorite saying is, your crap is your gold. Or another way, your mess is your message. Meaning everything you go through in life, it doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. These are your beautiful gifts, your story. So again, nothing happens to you but for you. So anyways, now let's talk about you. So how many of you guys already have your podcast or YouTube channel? Raise your hand. Okay. So the next question I'm not going to ask you, because it's not, if you don't have one, then it's not profitable. Now, the next question I'll ask you is, why not? Why haven't you started your podcast, YouTube channel so far? So let's hear it. Andrea.
Overthinking.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, before I even move on, I forgot to do the basic. I forgot to ask you guys to introduce yourself. So 30-second, 45-second, tell us who you are, what you do, and why you sign up for this challenge, and why do you want to launch your podcast? So let's start with Andrea.
Hi, I'm Andrea. I'm a writer, humanitarian development professional, and I'm also an energy medicine and body worker, an energy medicine practitioner and body worker. So I also have set up, co-founded several community initiatives around the Philippines around sustainable living, holistic wellness, and all that, especially during the lockdown. So Yeah, and I actually supported a lot of people in setting up their own businesses and all these community initiatives. But now I feel like it's my time to set up my own community, and I've been feeling the urge to really start a podcast or a channel, or just really share what I've discovered throughout my own personal journey and journeying with different communities. So yeah, thank you. This is really timely. This is really exactly what I need right now. So
You know, nothing happens
thank you
for a
for this.
reason. Nothing is random. And it's definitely time for you, my friend, to step up and become the person you're meant to be and stop getting out of your own way. You know, it's an overthinking. Time to take action, move. I am here. As I always tell everyone, yes, I'm cheering for you. God is cheering for you. But you know who's the most important people cheering for you right now? Your future clients that are waiting for you, that desperately need you. They're just saying, come on, Andrea, come on, Mark, come on, Christine, come on, everyone listening. We are waiting for you, and we cannot let these people down. So, again, always remember those people. So, yes, everything happens for a reason. Thank you for sharing, Andrea. I'm delighted. I'm honored that we connected, especially now. Awesome. Thank you. Mark, brother.
Yeah, Marketing Star from New Zealand. I'm the founder of the Strangers Community. It's a non-profit, and my goal, why I'm here, Payman, is to become a better podcaster. So obviously, I have want to help all those other leaders of charities and that to be able to be heard. I grow YouTube channels, etc., and things like that. So I'm going to market for them. I also have another company, the Snowballing Group, and we're creating snowballing entrepreneurs. So that is really where I'm going to really need my skills, and that's why I'm here to help other snowballing entrepreneurs to grow their opportunities using my YouTube channels, my marketing teams. I have virtual assistants and everything. So yeah, that's we're here to share our light and improve everyone's life going forward. I have many opportunities to do that. So I, that's why I'm here to share that.
Awesome.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Love that. Love that, Mark. Absolutely love what you're doing. And yeah, I'm cheering for you, brother. I'm cheering for you. Thank you. Last but definitely not least, the one and only Christine, queen of the most amazing home baked cookies and all cakes.
Oh dear. Right. Can I speak? Is that me?
That's you, definitely
Yes,
you.
me.
There's only one
Okay.
Christine here.
Ah, dear. I don't know where to start. I'm a grandmother. I started my first business, I think it must be 45 years ago now.
Wow.
I've done an awful lot of work. I've made a lot of changes. I've met some wonderful, interesting people, but I have to say, I've never had any money out of it. I did the very beginning. I did Investors in People for the Church of England. Tried to change them. Well, I did change them. And got a lot of praise for that, I suppose. I did a lot of conferences and workshops. Yes, I got paid at the time at the daily rate. I was lucky enough to go to Europe 25 years ago and get Europe to pay me for doing a lot of projects, which were, strangely, as Mark says, a lot of them about community and the third sector, and how do we make a change of things from the bottom up. Instead of sitting around waiting for leaders to make decisions for us, community can make those decisions, and community can make a start. So I'm presently doing some work with some people in Sri Lanka, and that's about sustainability. They need a lot of help at the moment, and they're fighting against the new government and corruption and all the other things that we know about. So sitting around and waiting for the politicians just isn't an option. You have to get on and do something. But what I've never had personally, I've never had any recognition, never really sought it, I suppose. But I've certainly never made a profit at it. And since Brexit, it's been even harder because I can't submit bids to Europe. I can't do any work in that respect. I have got some clients, yes, but mostly they can't pay me because they're not making any money either. So it's almost, what do I do with all this knowledge? Where do I put it? Where does it go? Then I met Payman. I did a couple of podcasts with him, and I must say that really got my juices going because I thought, this is what I can do. I can talk about what we've done, and I can get the message out there that it's not hopeless. We're not living in a hopeless world. We can all actually make a difference, and the knowledge is all there. All we have to do is dip into it and use it. But how do I get the knowledge out there? And for me, I think it's got to be doing podcasts. It's got to be talking more. I don't enjoy it. I'm a bit like Payman says. I'm not very good at pushing myself forward. And I listen often to people who talk a lot about what they're doing and what they've done and how much money they're making. I could do that, and I could put myself out there at that risk, but I haven't. And I'm afraid if there is a downside to everything I've achieved in the last 40 years, it's that I haven't put it out there. I haven't made it known. So that's why I'm here again for the second time, actually. But I enjoyed the first one so much, learned so much from it. I thought, well, I really need to reinforce it. I need the lesson again, and I need to know what it is I should do. So, sorry, that's rather long, but that's me.
Love that. Love that. Love the energy. So much wisdom, so much experience, so many wealth of knowledge. So yes, I'm honored to have you again with us. I'm really delighted that the universe connected us. And yeah, it's can't wait to further help you with this time and beyond. So yeah, I'm one of your biggest fan, your biggest cheerleader, Christine, because I've seen your massive, massive, beautiful heart. And yeah, and let's get you to seeing some money your way. Let's get you profitable. That's what it's all about. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Now let's move on. So in your businesses, guys, do you currently have an offer of at least $1,000 or more? Raise your hand if you do. Okay, Mark does. Christine doesn't. What about you, Andrea? Not yet? Okay. We're going
Not
to change
yet.
that. We're going to change that. And I will share tomorrow and the next day why it's imperative for us to charge at least $1,000 or more so that we can really step up. Because the more you charge, the higher quality of clients you will attract, and so on and so forth. Awesome. Awesome. Now, raise your hand if you want to have your very own profitable podcast and YouTube channel so that you can start getting clients to pay you $1,000 or more. If I could, I would raise my feet as well.
I'm thinking the same.
I know. All of us. Awesome. So now let's dive deeper and look at why is podcasting so powerful for both you as a person, as a man, as a woman, and your business. And I would dare to say that the benefits for you will far outweigh the benefit for you as a person. I will go into that in a much deeper in a moment. But before that, first, I want to share with you a graph, a stat that left me, each time I see it, it leaves me speechless. As you can see, it's not a secret anymore. Podcasting is booming. There's no tomorrow. And this graph is only for the US. And that's a scary and exciting part. So last year was $32 billion. This year, 47, almost 48 billion. Let's round it to 50. In 2029, which is not a long time from now, it's only 2.5 years from now, it's going to increase by another almost $100 billion. That's the amount of business that is conducted each day, transactions, deals, just through this. Just through a podcast and a YouTube channel. Do you guys see how humongous that is? Now, there's no reason that you and me and all of us cannot get our little share of that pie. Even that little share of that pie is going to be pretty big enough to keep us all happy, fulfilled, and very busy in a good way. You guys excited when I get your share of that massive pie?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, as I mentioned earlier, when I say podcast, I mean both podcast and YouTube. Let's compare both, and I'm going to go deeper into that the rest of the week. There's an old way and there's a new way, the profitable magnetic way. The old way, which is what most people are doing, and that is they play the vanity metrics game. They say, oh, build a massive audience and then make your money through, subscribers, views, sponsorship, downloads, and all that good stuff. But that takes a long time, a long time. And that would only help you if you are already a celebrity or if you have a massive existing audience or if you're a world-class expert with a few PhDs after your name. I am none of that. No, most of the people I work with are not that. And to build a channel or a podcast that makes even $1,000, it's going to take the normal person that doesn't have an audience, that is not a celebrity, who doesn't have multiple letters after the name. It's going to realistically take him 3 to 5 years. Realistically. At the conference that I spoke at in March and here in Da Nang, just before my talk, there was a guy from the US, young guy. He started his YouTube channel in 2019. And he does a typical traditional travel blogging, talking about his lifestyle. He lives in Thailand. And he proudly shared his earnings from YouTube for the month of January, a grand total of $964 after 6 years. After 6 years, not even $1,000. And when I asked him how long did it take him to even get money, he said 3 years. So that's a long time. For example, Mark, you are very familiar with monetizing YouTube the traditional way because that's one of the things you used to offer. If I were to rely on the money I get from YouTube, sponsors and views and all that, I wouldn't be able to even afford a cup of coffee a month. My channel is very small, which is less than 1,500 subscribers. I'm lucky if I get 50 views. And because of that, I don't even bother ticking the box for monetizing my videos when I release them. Because for me, it's not about that. For me, I leverage my YouTube, my podcast for one thing and one thing only, to build that trust, to get to know the person, to get my foot in the door. And this is the new magnetic, profitable way to monetize a podcast and YouTube channel where you can literally start getting clients, each of them paying you $1,000 or more, even if you have no audience. It's not about subscribers. I'm not concerned about that, views, downloads. It's all about building trust, building rapport. And I will explain that to you in a moment. So again, this is very powerful, guys. Now, this is my channel as of just a few minutes ago. Just a few minutes ago. I released episode 390, 1,486 subscribers. You can go on my channel, Leaders Without, and you will see it. So tiny audience, big results. Over 100 high-ticket clients. How is that possible? And I will explain that in a moment. So again, when done the right way, podcast and YouTube are a game changer. Are you guys excited to learn more about that?
Always.
All right, cool. So what is business at the core? Business is not a numbers game. Sure, numbers matter, but ultimately, it's a relationship nurturing process. We do business with people we like, rate, and trust. Even more so, when you're selling iTicket, meaning anything over $1,000, is about one thing and one thing only, trust. It's all about trust. If I'm selling this mug on Amazon for $10, you like it, you buy it. Let me actually show the actual front. It's actually beautiful. If you like it, you buy it. You don't need to know me. But if you're looking to invest $1,000 or more, you definitely want to know me and answer these 3 key questions. Is this person competent? Can I trust them or her? And the big one, can I do it? Sure, you did it, he did it, she did. But what about me? Can I do it? Because for me, the most important person in the world is me. And that's how all we think. That's why it's all about trust. Now, how do we build that trust? We build this trust by building rapport. Now, how do you build that rapport? By simply having heart-to-heart conversations and being authentic. For example, on my podcast, I don't sell, I don't pitch. When I get on a call with someone, I just want to know them. I want to know who's Andrea, who's Mark, who's Christine, who's Mike, who's Suzanne, and so on and so forth. First and foremost, as a man, as a woman, before the businessman or businesswoman, because if me and you, we don't connect man to man, man to woman, or woman to woman, we're not going to talk, let alone do business with. But once we connect, it opens the doors, opens wallets, yes, wallets, and everything else in between. Because again, it's all about trust. And what's the best way to do that? This, a podcast. Do you guys now see our podcast went down the right way? Especially built on trust, on having heart-to-heart conversation, being authentic. Being authentic is incredibly important, especially in today's AI world with all this AI stuff. What people are really craving for and desperately for is authenticity. People to be authentic, speaking from the heart. And that's the best, the number one advice I give everyone I talk to. Never speak from a script. Don't even speak from here. Speak from here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Speak from here, from the heart. When you speak from the heart, that's when people really open up to you, trust you. And once they trust, doors opens, wallets open, and so on and so forth. Does that make sense? All right.
Yes.
Now, why is podcasting the best way to connect with your exact ideal audience, prospect, and clients? I want to hear you guys because I need to take a break. I've been talking too much. Who wants to take a go at this?
Because it's real and live, and you're just communicating in the
Yes.
now.
And by the way, there's no right or wrong answers, guys. So don't feel bad or shy. So I just want to hear your perspective. You're absolutely spot on, Mark. Absolutely, yes. What else? Andrew, I
think
see you moving your lips. Go ahead. Say it. Oh, there's one more person joining. Okay. Okay, Andrea, go ahead.
Okay, I was reading the question, but based on my experience, it's how when they actually see you, and of course we have energy. It comes
Mm.
across from the screen, so they actually sense that, especially if they're coming from authenticity. So it's better than any other copywriting or any other scripted video that you can ever produce. So it's like heart to heart connection immediately.
That's
At
it.
least for-
Absolutely. Bingo. Christine.
Yeah, I think it takes time to also to build up a rapport. That sometimes, well, definitely for me, it's not always instantaneous. You might have to talk to people 2 or 3 times before they. Sometimes it's a hook. Sometimes they grasp something. Like somebody came to me a week or so ago and she wanted to know about bid writing, but she'd already got 2 bid writers, and I thought, why does she want a 3rd bid writer? I think she wanted me to try and train her 2 bid writers. But then I happened to mention something about what I really believed in was investing in people. I really do believe you make an investment in a person even when you only meet them for the first time.
Mhm.
And she said, oh, can you do that? And I said, yes. And she said, oh, right. She says, tell me how much you'll charge to take me through the whole process from beginning to end. So all of a sudden, she doesn't want me as a bid writer. She actually wants me to deliver investors in people for her organization. That's a much bigger task, much, much bigger.
Yes.
And for that, yes, she wants me to say how much that's going to cost, and then she's going to raise the funds for that. So again, it didn't come instantaneous, the first meeting. It came at
Yes.
maybe the 4th.
I agree. And I will add to that. For example, me and you, Christian, we've known each other for over a year. It took me almost a year to get a smile out of you. I'm,
Really?
I'm joking. I'm joking. Of course not.
I'm told I have an inappropriate sense of humour.
I
I
love
was
you. I
told
love
that
you.
in a staff appraisal once.
No, that's one thing I love the most because you're so easy to talk to. We got along like two kids. No, I love that. I'm just joking. You know that. Andrea, you raise your hand. Go ahead, my friend.
Oh yeah, I just remembered something. My friend who's so much into marketing, she told me this. So it takes at least 7 touch points for someone to trust you. So you just so the more you're seen, and especially if you talk about issues that are solving problems for people, the common problems, health, finances, relationships, then it's all the more that they can trust you, especially if you've provided a lot of value to them and help them solve their problems.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, 7 points of interaction. However, the fastest way to shortcut this is a conversation, a long conversation, a podcast. And now, as opposed to them just watching your message, your email, which most don't even open, when you really talk with them, get to know them in a relaxed way, get to really know them as a human being, not just try to sell them, just trying to get to know them. That's going to drastically reduce the 7 to maybe 1 or 2. And I'm going to explain that in more detail in a moment. Absolutely. Bingo. Love that. Jonathan, welcome, my friend. Good to have you with us. We're halfway through. Jonathan is a dear friend of mine here in Vietnam from France. So welcome, Jonathan. Thank you. Do you want to add anything to this, Jonathan? Speaking of community,
No,
he's a big
I
community
was in the meeting,
manager.
so sorry.
Okay, no worries. He's hosting some of the best events here in town. So he's a big community guy. Absolutely. Awesome. Cool. Now let's hear it. So again, why is podcasting the best way to connect to the exact ideal audience, prospect, and clients? And here it is. These are the main on top of what you guys already said. When someone listens to your podcast, it's for 3 main reasons. One, sure, they are interested in your topic, but most important is because they can relate with you. They can resonate with your message. They can identify with you, your message, your story, and they can see themselves in you. And also, last but definitely not least, because if someone is listening to your podcast, especially after a few episodes, guess what? They will start to view you as someone they know. They will start to liking you personally, your sense of humor, your vision, your values. Even though they may have never met you and they probably never will meet you. How many of you guys regularly consume podcasts, listen to podcasts, and feel that you know the person that you're listening to? See, who's your favorite podcaster other than me, Andrea?
Trevor Noah and all
Yes.
those similar field. Yeah.
Yes, Trevor Noah is amazing. Yes,
Mel Gibson. Sorry.
You need Mel Robbins, you mean Mel Robbins? Not
Mel
Gibson.
Robbins.
Come on, not Mel Gibson.
He's
That's
an actor. Sorry. Yeah, Mel
Anyway, Trevor.
Robbins.
Yeah. So you see, after a few episodes, you feel that you know her. It's almost like you're sitting with her across the table, having coffee and just having a conversation. That's why podcasting reduces the sales cycle like there's no tomorrow because of this. And I'm going to expand in a moment. Now, here's a powerful question. What is the most valuable currency in the world of business? Before I give it to you, I want to hear you. It's not money.
Time.
It's not even time. Yes, those are
Freedom.
very important, but some are even more important, especially in today's age.
Health. Freedom.
No. What I'm saying, the most valuable currency in the world of business.
Knowledge.
Time.
Yes, that's very high.
Me.
Of
Time.
course. Of course. Other than you, yes. If I say goldfish, that's a big tip. No, it's not a goldfish. What do we usually associate a goldfish with? Starts with an A, ends with an N. Let me check the chat. Yes, Andrea, you have it. You have it. You have it. Say it loud. Don't be shy.
Attention. But disclaimer, I saw the next slide, so sorry.
Yes, you have a good. You're fast. You're fast. You're a fast learner. You're a smart cookie. That's why. So again, it's attention, even more important than time and money. Yes, and yes, because again, in today's world, with the attention span of an normal adult being less than that of a goldfish, which is 3 seconds, we only have 3 seconds to catch someone's eyes. So if you're doing traditional ads, which I don't recommend in today's age because it's so expensive and you don't get any views for that, and with people being bombarded, flooded with information, you have 3 seconds to get someone's attention. However, when someone is listening to your podcast, first of all, your podcast is going to be 25, 30, 45, 60 minutes. Who's going to listen to someone for 60 minutes if you don't like the person, if you don't really relate to the person? That's impossible. It's not going to happen. Even if someone were to pay you, well, depending how much, you know what I mean? So again, attention, attention, attention. Attention is the most valuable currency in the world of business, because once you catch your attention, then you get your foot in the door. Awesome. Now, let me go in details about some of the incredible benefits of podcasting for you as a person, as a human being. These are based from my own personal experience, and those are my clients for the last 4 years. First, it's a beautiful, powerful, phenomenal platform to share your story and document your journey, which in process will allow you to make great friendships around the world, give an opportunity for your audience to get to know you and for them to get to know you. And it's going to give you access to people you normally wouldn't. Here's a test. Go on LinkedIn or wherever. Try sending a message to someone you admire. Say, hey, can I please get a few minutes to pick your brain? You won't even get a reply. But instead, what if you would say, hey, my name is Payman, Andrea, Mark, Christine, Jonathan, Mary, whatever. I'm the host of the super powerful, beautiful, best cookies in the UK podcast. I love what you're doing, and I would love for you to come share your story on my podcast. With this approach, in 4 years, I had 2 people say no to me. One was a lady about to give birth. We had to reschedule it, but she came on the podcast. The second was a man who was about to move for work from the US to Germany. And of course, we had to reschedule it, but nobody told me no. The only answer they gave me is, oh, absolutely, just say when. Just send me your calendar. Why? Because everybody wants to be on a podcast, talk about themselves. So this is probably one of the biggest benefits. It gives you access to people you normally would not. Also, here's another powerful one. It's going to be a beautiful opportunity for you, not only to learn about others, to learn about the world, but to know about yourself. I can't tell you how many times after watching my own podcast before releasing them, I catch myself saying, oh, wait, where is that coming from? Did they really say that? Sometimes when you're in the zone, information comes almost channeled through you. Things that you normally don't even say. But when you're in a zone, it channels through in a magical way. I can see, Andrea, you can relate to that, right? All right. Here's another beautiful and life-changing benefit of podcasting. It's a phenomenal way to overcome your shyness and fear of public speaking. I used to be the most painfully shy guy in the world. People that know me from before, when they see me now, say, what happened to you? You're always talking, speaking with confidence, online, in front of big stages. What happened to you? Did you make a pact with the devil? No, never did, never will. I just found my purpose, my voice, my ikigai, as a Japanese like to say. And once you do that, you become the person you're meant to be. So this is incredibly powerful for you as a person. The next one, as you get into more and more conversation on a podcast, you drastically improve your own communication and listening skills. One of the greatest skills to have, not only for a podcast, but in life, is that of being a good listener. That's why God gave us 2 ears, only one mouth. Otherwise, if we need to speak more, we'd have one mouth here, one mouth here, and one mouth at the back. That's why we have one mouth only, because we need to listen, to speak twice we need to listen twice as much as to listen, as to speak. So again, that's an incredible value for you. And if you put all of this together, it's going to make you a much more, especially once you start doing 50, 100 episodes of your podcast, you will become an incredibly interesting person to talk to, because of all these experiences to learn from, to draw from, and all that. And because of all of that, being, not being shy anymore, interesting, you will be able to connect at a much, much, much deeper level with anyone you talk to. Not just on a podcast, on a Zoom, even in your life, your family, your kids, your spouse, your neighbor, people around you, because you will really be able to really connect in ways that you can't. And if you put all of this together, it's going to make you an incredibly powerful and charismatic leader and speaker, because you're amazing at communicating, at listening. Oh, speaking of listening, one of my biggest pet peeves is when I listen to a podcast and I see the host always interrupting, always cutting. I say, listen, I don't want to listen to you. I'm listening because I'm interested in the guest. So again, guys, this is the biggest tip I can give you. When you do your podcast, please, for the love of God, I'm begging you, let the guest speak. Let them finish. And that's one thing I always tell everyone. I'm sure I told that to you many times. So many times I lost track of that, Christine, is that it's not about me. I'm just the host. You're the star. Let them finish the sentences. Let them finish their thoughts. This is what's going to make you really, really, really charismatic, powerful, podcast host, and make your podcast so much more compelling, because people want to listen to the guest, not to the host, unless you're Joe Rogan. That's a different story. But even Joe Rogan, he just stays
But what
quiet.
the host can do is give non-verbal reaction. So you can nod to show you agree with what's being said, and that encourages people to actually expand more on what it is they're trying to say. So yes, the worst thing we do these days is to interrupt. We can nod and smile
Yes.
and give NVC responses.
Absolutely. Not only podcasts, even here, just looking at you guys. I always look at you guys to get any physical cues. Like I see, for example, Andrea sometimes nods. You nod. Mark, you nod. Because the last thing I want is for you guys to fall asleep and start playing with your phones. So again, this is very important, guys. Last but definitely not least, podcasting is very fun. Nobody would do it if it wasn't fun. There was a song in the 80s, which is girls want to have fun. Guess what? Boys want to have fun too. Everybody wants to have fun. So have fun. And in the process of all of that, guess what? You will find your voice, your passion, and your purpose. So for me, all of these soft benefits, for me, they far outweigh any business or monetary benefit, because just like the saying, let's say your goal is to make $1 million, which is beautiful. But the real goal is not the $1 million, but the person you become in the process, the skills you acquire, the people you meet, because that's something that's invaluable. Nobody can take that away from you. The $1 million, you can spend it like this if you want to, if you're not careful. But the skills, nobody can take them away from you. Even if they were to kill you, you will get them back in the next life. Anyways, so guys, do you see how powerful that is? So of all of these, which one is for you the most important for you as a person? Your number one. Because I need to break. I need to drink. So shut up.
What was the question?
Somebody's been snoring, eh?
I didn't get it.
No. I'm joking. The question is, of all of these personal benefits, which one is the most important for you?
Within the podcast?
Yes. All of these benefits of podcasting for you as a person, which one is the most valuable and powerful benefit of all? Just the personal. We're going to talk about business in the next slide, but as a person.
Getting to know someone.
Yes. And why is that so important?
because
them.
you, sorry,
Sorry,
Mark.
sorry.
Oh, I
I
thought you.
just said it's about them. But yeah, I, apologies.
Go ahead, Christine.
I've forgotten the question again.
See, she's killing me. The question
It's an
is,
age. It's the age thing.
no, it's not it. It's not it. The question is, of all of these benefits of podcasting for you as a person, which one is for you the most powerful one? You haven't been fun of.
Getting to know someone and thinking about what you can offer.
Yes.
What's your offer to them, and how is it going to help them?
And why is getting to know them so important?
Well, for me, it gives me a better idea of what it is they need. What's their need, and can I fulfill that need?
Yeah, and to build that trust. It's a trust that opens all the doors, wallets. Andrea, what about you?
It's a combination of two, actually. All the rest I've already been doing, so it's more. I'm challenging myself to do this because what I haven't overcome yet is my shyness and fear of public speaking. Like I like it better when I speak one-on-one with people, but when I'm like speaking to a crowd, I'm like, ugh. So I want to be more confident, and because at least it's a podcast. So essentially I'm just talking to one-on-one, but there's an invisible audience.
Yes.
So and then start from there, and then later on become a powerful and charismatic speaker and leader, because I know that I have a lot of things to share.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank
You
you.
know, one person who was introduced to me some years actually before, a few years before he died, but he was the most fantastic TED speaker, and Sir Ken Robinson. And he would stand in front of a huge audience, as Payman will know, having done this. And he would start with a theory, but every now and again he would say, "Isn't it? Wasn't it?"
Mm,
And he would encourage the audience to actually respond to him. And I think to do that, say 1 to 500 people, is something quite incredible. But he learned that. And the first time I heard one of his speeches, he was talking about children and education, and were we failing our children?
yeah.
And he was actually taking the audience with him. You know, they were responding to him to say that they agreed we were failing our children.
Yes.
It's amazing if you can catch it. It's one of the most famous TED speeches that
What's his
everybody
name?
goes to learn. Sir Ken Robinson.
Okay. Okay. I'll
He
look for that.
left the UK because he didn't like the way children were being taught in school. And he went to America, and he actually became more famous there. But then he was knighted by the Queen for services to education. So he's become really, really famous from that one podcast.
See, there you go.
Yeah, amazing man.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Do you want to do anything, Mark?
Sorry, man. Well, I'm still having head injuries, but like my concussion. So, what do you want me to speak about, Evan?
Of all of these benefits of podcasting for you personally, which one is the most powerful for you? The ones on the screen. The ones I just explained the last few minutes.
Yeah, not very good at putting my eyes on, but obviously, you just want to tell your experience. You just want to speak from the heart. You just like, you just want to reach people. I didn't get time to read that, sorry, but
No worries. No worries.
my brain's banging at the moment.
I know it's
but-
midnight for you. It's midnight for you. I completely understand. I
Oh no,
understand.
mate! I'm suffering from concussion at the moment.
Yes,
But,
yes, yes.
but yeah, but I had people banging on my head with iron bars for a while,
Yeah.
some months ago. So I'm still having trouble
Hey, if
getting
you
them
wanna go take a rest,
now.
you're free to do so, my brother.
Oh no, I'm good. I just like put me on spot, man. But it's
No worries, no
like
worries.
like give me a question.
The question is, of all of the benefits of podcasting for you personally that you see on your screen, which one is the most powerful for you?
Can't read them all very well. That's the problem. Well, yeah, obviously. Yeah, just looking at the first one, mate. It's like you share your experience, and
Yes,
to me, that's pretty powerful,
yes,
right? I
absolutely.
didn't. I haven't even gone through the others, but straight
Yeah,
away, it's your experience, your uniqueness, your
yes,
story, and that's what you do, right?
absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Jonathan, do you want to add something?
For me, it would be get access to people you normally wouldn't,
Yes,
because those people brings you opportunities and business.
totally. Absolutely. Thank you. Love that. That's one of the best benefits of podcasting for sure. All right, let's move on. Now, let's take a look at the benefit of podcasting for your business. And when it comes to this, money. Of course, the first and obvious one, it's going to allow you to attract and connect with exact ideal clients in a very compelling way. It's a beautiful opportunity, a platform for you to get your audience to get to know you by you sharing your story, speaking from the heart. In the process, you'll be building a very intimate connection with your audience. You feel like you're, for example, the people I get, the guests I bring on my podcast, they're not just a guest. The clients I get from my podcast, from my business, are not just a line on a spreadsheet. We become friends. Like for example, me and you, Christian, we get on calls, we laugh like we talk about like friends, we laugh. This is more important because again, we have that trust, that rapport, that connection. See, this is why it's so important, so powerful. Same thing with you, Mark. We've got on calls. You told me your story. You told me your what's happening in your life in ways that you normally wouldn't tell someone you don't know. Because again, we have this trust, this connection. So thank you for that, Mark. Same thing for you, Chrissy. I'm looking forward to getting to know you, Andrea, and eventually bring you on my podcast to share your story. And same thing for you, Jonathan. So here's a very, very, very powerful one. Probably one of the biggest ones. Your best clients will be your podcast listeners. Let me repeat that. Your best clients will be your podcast listeners. I will share one stat. 100% of my clients come from this. 100%. And I will expand on that in a moment. So this is incredibly powerful. And of course, it goes out saying it's a phenomenal lead generation machine, but even more than lead generation, a lead education machine. Because as coaches, mentors, activators, our number one job is to educate our audience as to what is the problem they have, what is the reason why the problem exists in the first place, and then what's going to happen if they don't take any action. This is the most important task we have as coaches, as mentors, as activators is that of educating our audience, and no better platform than a podcast. For example, for you, Christine, you've mentioned a few times that you want to get your massive knowledge out there. What a better way than this? And we had this conversation before. Turn your articles into a podcast. Just read them. So again, and this is incredible because again, your number one job is to educate them. Once you educate them, you build trust, you build credibility, visibility, and they feel compelled to reaching out to you.
I think I need a host though. I don't think I can do it on my own. What is that something strange about me? But just doing a podcast and me being the host,
I think you could.
that wouldn't get my message out, would it?
No, I think you could. I think you have all the skills, actually.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
I think that's what's
yeah.
holding me back. Is like,
You're a confident speaker. No, you're a very confident speaker. I believe you could totally control it.
Christine, that's a limiting mental belief.
Is it?
That's a false narrative you've been telling yourself. Yes. And if you want, I can do something for you. We're in the month of May. We still have time enough. December's far away. I can help you draft a request for Santa Claus to bring you a host.
You. I thought I was going to do the 400th with you. No, the 500th with you.
Oh, no, that's a given. We'll do it. We'll do it. But anyways, we'll do it. So the next one, of course, that's also a given. You can leverage your podcast content for endless content. I'm going to come to you in a moment, Andrea. Just 1 second. Especially if you do long format, 45, 60-minute content, you can easily create, reels, highlights around that, quotes, blog posts, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, it's an incredible source for you because they say that content creation is king, but the best way to feed that content creation machine is this. It's unique, as valuable, as authentic. Andrea, go ahead, my friend.
I just wanted to share in relation with the previous one, elevates and positions you as the expert, leader, and authority. So
that's the next
actually sorry?
That's the next one. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
You're too fast. Slow
I thought
down.
you. Okay, so can I share later after?
Please. I'll share it now
started?
because you started.
Ah, okay. So one of the reasons why I was really, really challenged to do a podcast is, well, apart from I enjoy doing conversations, I can do it for free and for several hours. So why not do it and earn from it? So the other one was, so I co-organized or I co-founded an initiative during the lockdown. So we ran it for 3 years where we ran online programs, and also we had an online show which featured healers, yoga teachers, life coaches, etc. So we all provided support during the lockdowns. So, and because and actually I was the one who brought in most of the guests and the speakers. I was the one who knew most of the healers and the yoga teachers and the coaches. But because it was not my podcast and not my initiative, so the the expertise, I mean the one who started it, all the expertise went to her, like everything rubbed off on her, and I'm like just the person behind the scene. So I'm like, wait, but that's all my contacts. I brought them all here. But I'm not even, yeah. So like I even started way ahead of her in the healing practice. So I'm like, and then suddenly she's a life coach, and I'm just a nobody.
Yeah.
I could concur with that, because people have said to me what they want from me is my network.
Yeah. That's it.
They're really quite cruel. They just say, what I really want from you is access to your network. I'm not bothered about you, what they're saying. So I'm not bothered about you, but what I want is access to your network.
Make them pay for it. Make it exclusive. Even better, make them earn it.
Yes. Yeah. And I never hear from them again.
Yeah, because they just want it for free.
Yeah. So no, don't go there.
Exactly.
I can relate, but not anymore. I'm done with that.
And yet Payman has done favors for me, introduced me to people. So I've done the same for him.
Yes.
You had a good conversation, I think, with Linda. Yes.
Yes,
Linda
we
Long.
actually collaborating. Yes, we're collaborating.
I thought you would. She's good. Yes.
She can't attend the calls because she's busy, but yeah, she sent me people. Yes. And I'm grateful for her. Shout out for you, Linda. Amazing. Thank you.
Yes. So that was what you do. You do favors for people that you trust.
I resonate. Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead, Andrea.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, because I said I'm done with that. No, I'm not talking about the collaborations and connecting people. I love doing that. I'll keep doing that. But it's just like sometimes there are really certain types of persons who just reach out to you for what they can get from you, but they don't plan to reciprocate.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's not an equal energy of collaboration. It's just
No.
like after they get what they need, then bye bye.
We
So
have to be careful when we have to be tough and to say no. You have to set boundaries. It has to be a valuable collaboration and win-win, not win-lose. So, anyways, yes, the next one, the podcast is going to drastically elevate you and position you as not only as the expert, the leader and authority in your field, but as more importantly, as their expert, their leader, their authority. Do you know why? Because you're the one, remember what I said earlier? You're the one that's going to educate them, make them become aware of what is the problem. Because we don't know what we don't know. I have problems I'm not even aware of, all of us. But if you were the one, for example, Christine, you're a wealth of knowledge when it comes to bid writing. Someone's looking to raise money, they don't know, they probably don't have any clue of what is a process. But because you've done it multiple times at the highest level for in the hundreds of millions of euros and pounds, you know the process. And by you sharing those content on a podcast, you will first educate them what is a process, and by process of you educate them, guess what? That will elevate you in their mind, not just as a leader, but their leader, their expert, their authority, basically their go-to person, and that's the ultimate gift that podcasting will do for you and for your business in the eyes of your audience, not the world, but your audience. And that's something we expand more over the next few days. So again, this is incredibly powerful. The podcast will literally is the fastest shortcut for you to be seen as a go-to person in your niche and for your audience. And of course, next one, it's a fantastic, phenomenal platform for networking. Podcasting has become the new golf. Before, people used to say, well, let's go play a round of golf or meet at the country club to network. Now, especially since COVID, hey, come on a podcast. Remember the graph I showed you just at the start of this call? With the podcast booming, currently is at $47 billion, and 2.5 years is going to be $150 billion. These are the amount of business people do all day long by connecting on a podcast. For example, me, I only do business with people I've met on my podcast. My publisher, I've done 4 books with her, all #1 international bestselling authors on day one. She was a guest on my podcast 4 years ago. My copywriter guy, my marketing guy, Michiel, if you remember him, Christine, he was on my podcast. Everybody. I only do business nowadays with people I met on my podcast. So your podcast is amazing, not only for you to find your clients, but also surround yourself, build your team of experts around you, because it's going to be an amazing way for you to know the person and to vet them. Because again, it's all about trust. Do you see how powerful it is not only for you to get your clients, but to build a team of trusted partners? Like if I ever get in a position to write a bid, I know what I'm going for. Do you guys know who that is? Start with a
Me.
C and L. She makes the most amazing cookies. As long as she gets me home baked cookies, I'll even fly to the UK. I'll write it together of the cookies, you know?
Oh dear.
So again, this is why I'm saying, guys, it's incredible. And next, it's an incredibly powerful launching pad for much bigger things. So that little tiny podcast of mine, less than 1,500 subscribers, got me on my feet financially, over 100 iTicket clients, 4 times #1 international bestselling author, thriving international academy, public speaking, TED Talk, and God knows what else. All of this because of this. If you know, the last question I asked my guests on my podcast, and both you, Christine, and Mark, I don't know if you remember it, because it's the last question I asked you, is what is the smallest thing you've done that has had the biggest, deepest, most profound positive impact in both your life and business? For me, it's been starting my podcast, because that transformed chain, as I said earlier, it literally saved my life. If it wasn't for it, I wouldn't be here probably today. Or maybe I would be still stuck at some soul-crushing job in a cubicle in Toronto. So again, it's going to open the world for you. And last but definitely not least, I mentioned that earlier, it's going to drastically reduce the sales cycles of whatever you're selling. You mentioned perfectly, Andrea, earlier, the 7 interactions. It's going to cut it to 1 or 2. Instead of 7 and 10, maybe not now, it's probably 15 interactions because people are becoming bombarded with all those memes and videos about cute cats and stuff like that. But now you get them on a podcast, you get to know them. After 1 or 2 calls, they will ask you, so what about you, Andrea? What about you, Mark? What about you, Christine? What about you, Jonathan? What about you, Payment? What do you do? When you tell them, hey, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Can you help me? Sure, let's talk. Bam. Bada boom, bada bam. That's it. So guys, do you see how powerful that is? Now, if you put all of this together, if you look at all of these benefits of podcasting for you, for business, which one is the most powerful for you? Let's go with
The knowledge.
which one? Mark, which one?
The knowledge. The knowledge. The knowledge that you just shared, my friend, and my courage.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Andrea, of all of these,
For me, well, I zeroed into the one I mentioned earlier again, elevates and positions you as the expert, leader, and authority. Because, like, I was thinking in my field, to be considered an expert, you have to be a PhD, a board passer, whatever, and I don't think I have the patience to finish a postdoctorate
blame
degree
you.
right now.
Yeah,
So,
I wouldn't need
so
it.
yeah.
Absolutely. What about you, Christine? Unmute yourself, please.
Fathead. Elevate, same one actually. Elevate and position you as the expert, the
Yeah.
leader, and the authority.
Mm.
Because otherwise, you're just a minion, aren't you? In a whole crowd of people, you've got to stand out. Whether you feel comfortable with that position or not, you've got to stand out. So it's
Absolutely.
that one for me.
Love that. Thank you. Jonathan, what about you, brother?
Would probably be the first one. Attract and connect you with your exact ideal clients, because it's a good way to know even more about your clients, and the more you know your clients, the better you know what to sell to them.
Absolutely. The more you can help them at the highest level. Absolutely. Love that. Thank you. Let's move on. Do you guys know this guy? Russell Brunson? Well, it just says at the bottom, but have you guys heard of him?
Yeah, of course I do.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mr. the Click Man.
yeah.
I have his audiobook.
Good one. Yeah. So here's a powerful quote. Music and radio listeners make on average $60,000 a year, while podcast listeners make on average $120,000 a year. Why that is?
They limit themselves.
Sorry?
Because they limit themselves.
They limit themselves.
They limit themselves. I don't understand. They what?
Limit.
Limit.
Yeah, they limited themselves, mate. That's why.
Okay. Thank you. Christine.
Wondering why the listeners make on average 120k a year, not the hosts.
No.
Is that what he's saying?
What he means is that when someone listens to a podcast, they're more likely to make more money. Now, the question is, why
Oh,
that
I
is?
see.
Why that
Okay.
is? Of course, it's a generalization, but there's a lot of truth behind it. Why do you think that someone that listens mostly to podcast, again, don't get me wrong, I love music. I listen to music a lot, but also I love listening to podcasts when I go long walks. So why do you think that is? Go ahead, Andrea.
So, because mostly podcasts have cover a wide array of topics, mostly about self-development and self-mastery. So while you're growing, then your life will be improving and your business will be improving. Plus, you're benefiting from years of experience from experts and the lessons they learned from the mistakes they made.
Andrea, you want me to give the microphone to you? You do the class instead of me because you just answered the question. I'm joking. That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Jonathan, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, it's mostly like what she said, like getting more knowledge and you get smarter, and I guess you can make business. You can even create a business of your own
Yep.
if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. These are all absolutely correct. But also, it's because the people that tend to listen to podcasts, because they're consuming like self-development, they understand the value of self-investment. They learn. They have focus, they have clarity, and they're more successful. And because of that, they have more disposable income. And guess what? They'll be much more willing, ready, and able to invest in themselves, meaning in buying and paying what we offer. Because of that, I'm not saying music listeners are broke. Absolutely not. I love music. But it's just that someone that listens, podcasts, they're much more likely to know what they want, have clarity what they want, and that clarity translates into being more successful. Being successful means more disposable income, meaning more ability to invest in themselves. So that's why. So perfect. And here's the, as the title says, you will be able to attract a higher caliber of clients to your podcast. Again, because of when someone listens to your podcast, they will feel that they know you, they trust you. All right, as I mentioned before, your podcast listeners will be your best clients because, again, they have this trust, they view you as a friend, even though they never met you. You mentioned not Mel Gibson, but Mel Robbins. You feel that you know her, Andrea. So, again, all of those. And as I said earlier, 100% of my clients come from my podcast. How amazing is that? 100%.
That's amazing.
And thank you. And the scary part is, I don't do any social media. Zero. I haven't spent a penny so far on ads. That's scary and very exciting because if I've been able to achieve this much with absolutely just not even the bare minimum, there's only one way to go, and that is up, up, up. So again, your podcast listeners will be your best clients and pay you the most money because you have this connection, this rapport, this trust with you that people that don't listen to you, meaning they don't know you, will not. And someone doesn't know you, it's going to be a lot more harder for them to spend any money on you, let alone $2, $3, $4, $5,000. Like for example, Christine, you took the academy. We've known each other for a year. You invested money in the academy. Would you have invested money in my academy if we had just one conversation, or even less that, just if you had seen an ad? Absolutely not. Because we got to know each other.
Mm.
So again, this is what I'm saying, guys. Real life example right here. And I'm sure you guys can all relate with that. If you're selling anything over $1,000, if you ask your clients, actually, here's an homework. Ask all of your past clients, hey, would you have invested in me and when I had to offer? If you had just seen an ad or read an email, I can guarantee you almost 100% will say no. Because you're not just selling this for $10. You're selling $1,000 or more. And at that level, it's all about one thing and one thing only, trust. So again, podcast, your best clients will come from a podcast. Now, let's brainstorm together. We're finishing soon. What do you guys want to achieve through your profitable podcast? One sentence. Andrea.
Higher sales.
Higher sales. Okay, beautiful. Short, sweet, to the point. Higher sales so you can get more only rice. All right. What about you, Mark?
My purpose to be understood.
Beautiful, beautiful. Christine, other than more baked cookies?
Just one good client.
Hey,
Just-
why limit yourself just to one?
Because to make a difference, you can't do it almost overnight. You need to work with someone. And I want to collaborate. I need people to bounce off, to work with, to make change. You can't do it on your own.
Absolutely. And
Not
knowing
to make
you,
a difference.
you work at the highest level, raising 100 million euros. One client is more than enough for you. That's going to
Mm.
keep you happy and busy for a long time. Absolutely.
Yes.
What about you, Jonathan?
Yeah, I haven't really thought about this part yet, so, to
No
be
worries.
honest. So
No
I
problem.
don't know.
No problem. All right. Now, here's 4 foundational questions that I want you guys to really take the time today, tonight, and do some soul searching. Ask yourself these questions. Again, this is for you, not for me. This is for you. Why do you want to launch your profitable podcast now and not 6 months ago or 2 years from now? That's the first one. Second of all, where are you now in your business? What do you want to achieve in your business? And what's holding you back from achieving that goal? I want you guys to really give these questions a real meaningful thought. And I would deeply appreciate if you can just share the answers inside the Facebook group, 1 sentence for each question. That's your homework. You will have the slides, so don't worry, you don't have to
Oh,
write them down. Christine, you should know that of all people. You've been a few times in this. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. No, you're right, because these questions, I add them just now. These were probably not in the past challenges. So again, I really want you guys to look deep within, because again, what I'm sharing with you is not entertainment. I'm begging you, don't view this as passive entertainment. Apply it, apply it, apply it, because this can and will change your business and your life, just like it did for this guy right here. So that's one thing. Now, let's take a look quickly at some of the most common reasons that I have noticed so far from previous clients of mine over the last 4 years as to why they haven't started a podcast. And when I say podcast, again, I mean podcast and YouTube channel. The big one is I don't know how to start. Second, I'm not a techie. And last one, I do not know how to get the right people on my podcast and how to grow it, how to make money in this. Raise your hand if you can relate with any of these. Yeah, absolutely. Now, here's some other big, painful reason that people are not stepping up and playing small. I used to be that as well. Who am I? Who's going to listen to me? I'm a nobody. My story doesn't matter. My voice then doesn't matter. I don't matter. I'm not an expert at anything. I'm not a celebrity. For me, it was even worse. I have a big nose, no hair. I'm fat. Who's going to listen to this clown? This was me. Seriously, I'm not joking. This was the craziest story I used to tell myself. But then I realized it's not about me, but about the wisdom, the knowledge, the gift. Raise your hand if you can relate with any of these. If you tell yourself these nonsense all the time. I would raise my feet if I could too, you know? Anyways, as I said, it's not about you. It's about your gifts, your wisdom, your knowledge, your experiences. Because guess what? Your story matters, your voice matters, and you definitely matter, no matter what you may have been telling yourself all these years. So the good news is that a profitable podcast can be launched in 3 easy steps with the next few days. I'm going to share that with you. 3 steps: foundation, tech, and launch. So today and tomorrow and Wednesday, we're going to be taking care of the most important part, which is the foundation. Tech is going to be on Thursday, and on Friday, the launch, the making money. So here's your homework. On top of the 4 foundational questions I shared with you, share it in 1 sentence. What do you want to achieve through your podcast? What is your objective? So write those down in the Facebook group. Speaking of that, do you guys prefer to interact on Facebook or on WhatsApp?
What's that?
WhatsApp, okay.
so-
Okay, I already have you, Christine, on WhatsApp, Jonathan. So Andrea, shoot me your WhatsApp on Messenger and I'll create a WhatsApp group tonight, well, after this call. And I'll add my copywriter guy is going to be with us tomorrow, and he's a firecracker. He's going to blow your mind. He's going to come do a talk on Wednesday. So yeah, so send me your WhatsApp number if you haven't, and we'll do it. So that's it. Well done, guys. And before you go, one last thing. Here's a sneak peek into tomorrow. And as I said, everything builds from the previous day, so please be here tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to be building the foundation of your podcast, which is we're going to be brainstorming about your podcast. What is your podcast going to be about? It's going to all be built on one key core foundational principle, and that is, what is your zone of genius? We all have a zone of genius. What is your ideal listener's avatar? Once you know what is your zone of genius, you will know what is the pain point you can solve and for who. There's no guesswork involved. It all flows naturally, logically, seamlessly. And then once we have these first two items, what is your zone of genius? What is the ideal person you can help at the highest level? Then that's going to tell you what's your podcast going to be about. There's no guesswork. So this is what you're going to be doing tomorrow. So see you guys tomorrow. Before we leave, any questions? Questions, comments, compliments, especially about my hair?
You groomed yourself well tonight.
Thanks, brother. Thanks, brother. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And thank you so much for sharing.
Pleasure of mine, my brother. Thank you for staying this late. I know it's midnight, past midnight for you. So
It's all right. How many hours before you get on the next one?
next call is gonna be it's gonna be 7 hours from now. It's 8 o'clock, 12 hours from now. 11 hours. It's gonna be at 8 Eastern.
Well, that's easy to do.
8 p.m. Eastern. That's gonna be, I think it's gonna be noon. No, it's gonna be 10 a.m. Sydney time. You what, 5 hours? 7 and 5. That's noon for you. Noon. Much better for you. It's gonna be noon your
You
time.
just confused me. You said 12 a.m. Sydney.
No, not 12 a.m. No. It's gonna be noon. Because it's gonna be 7 o'clock for me. You're 5 hours ahead of me, so 7 plus 5, 12, if my math is correct.
Nice.
So there you go. All right, ladies, any questions?
Nope.
All right, enjoy. And if you go to Mangina Sal, get some chicken for me, please, okay? Adria. All right, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Take
Chris,
care.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thanks.
Jonathan, all of you,
Bye.
thank you guys. See you tomorrow. Cheers.
Appreciate it.
Yes, bye-bye.